weapon from TFA over to TTT, or so that they work in TTT. I mean, they're still TFA weapons, but they can do all that stuff. So let's say I like a TFA weapon, like a ppsh 41. Alright. I think, is this the one? Yes. So, I like this one. I'm going to copy the URL up here. I go to Steam Workshop Downloader IO. Yep. And paste it in there. You can download the file. And there it goes. And there's a few things that you have to do to get it to work, obviously. So, like, also, I love this art. Simon Stollenegg. He's coming out with a series on Amazon, actually. I couldn't believe it. So, we got this new folder's fine. Doesn't matter what it's called. I guess I could rename it and call it ppsh 41. And you go in here, and the only thing you really need to edit, I mean, you could edit the sounds if you want to, but we're just going to go in here. You want to take this, call it this, and open it up. And so you have this here. I've got some code already. The Nambu type 14 here. So I'm going to copy this. So this is the code you need. This is the wrong type of ammo because the ppsh is a SMG. I know that just because I subscribed to it, and in Gmod I played with it on the just regular sandbox mode, and it's definitely a submachine gun. Plus it says that on the page. So I wonder if it says that here. The ppsh one, I mean, it is a submachine gun in real life. It's got the MP5K sound, which is kind of lazy. Don't actually use a ppsh sound. I mean, it's still awesome. I love this weapon. The creator of it did a good job. So there's some attachments for it. Don't see anything that says it's anyway. So get to the point. We're going to change this. The auto switch. I don't need that. I could be wrong about this part. Hold type. That's just how in like the 3D view when when other people see you holding the weapon. I shouldn't say 3D view, third person view. When other people see you holding the weapon, then they'll hold it. You're holding it like an AR too, so your hands will be up rather than like. It just depends. Whatever makes it look natural is usually what the weapon creator does. So they probably tried it SMG. Probably look goofy because this weapon has like a big drum on it and all that. So. So we've got the RPMs, they look good. Default clip size, do have to change. 30, it has to match, because what happens is if you say 130, then it's just gonna, every time you drop the weapon and pick it up, it's gonna say, okay, now you have this much in your inventory. But when you match it, for whatever reason, it doesn't do that. Which means when you pick up this weapon off the ground, from like if you manually placed it on a map, which is another thing you can do with the TTT weapon placer, but otherwise it can auto spawn, and when you pick it up, it'll have 30 in the clip. And this is the default clip, not the drum. Like there's an attachment down here. I believe this adds to it. So I guess yeah, I should probably do this part. So that is important, and then. The auto spawnable here, I should put a note here, makes weapon automatically spawnable, meaning from auto spawn placements on TTT maps, it will spawn. It has a chance to spawn. It's like in the weapon pool. But That's different than it just being spawnable. That's a Gmod thing. So makes weapon automatically spawnable means it'll work. Now we have to change that to SMG, which I can't quite remember. Let's see if I have one in my yes. This uses SMG ammo. And of course I don't have it configured here. of course not. So go here, go to my add-ons, weapon placer. Weapon placer is really nice because you can go in and place weapons on a map wherever you want them, and you don't have to use the owner's setup for weapons. So the top here we've got item, ammo, SMG, TTT here, and these are all the different ammo types. The revolver is for like Desert Eagles, actual revolvers. The 357 TTT is for snipers, and I also have a mod which lets you have a separate set of ammo for the assault rifles, which almost all the TFA assault rifles use item ammo AR TTT, but TTT doesn't come with that, so you have to get that separately, which I guess if you just download this mod, what's it, Black Ops 2 TTT TFA. This one comes with that already set up. So if you have this mod on your server, then you will automatically get an ammo box assigned to TFA for your assault rifles. However, you will also have all the other weapons in the pack, which are good. They're all good, fun weapons. It's a really well balanced pack, kind of on the lower damage side, but so anyway, there's that. This is complicated, I know. So, okay, so we got this. And I'm looking actually just to make a separate mod. I'll probably just upload it to the workshop so that you don't have to get that whole weapon pack. You can just have the ammo for TFA. I don't know why they don't include it in TFA, but I guess that's not their priority. So, back to this. Go back here. This is Notepad++, good program for editing because it organizes things better than Notepad. So we put this here. This is weapon type, or weapon heavy rather. Weapon pistol means it goes in your primary or your secondary slot. Weapon heavy means your primary. And slot 2 is correct for your heavy. Slot 1 is for your pistol or secondary. So a lot of times when you go in TFA, you'll see this be one higher. It'll be like slot 2 for the pistol and slot 3 for the heavy, which is wrong. For TTT, it's wrong. That's all fine. Usually you never have to change any other stuff, hold type and all that. Usually the weapon creators get the hold type right. You can check it out in a third-person view. If you want to go like on the Gmod workshop and search for a third-person add-on, you can do that and then look how your character holds the weapon. Now for this, for fast-shooting guns, I like to disable the aim animation because it tends to look kind of silly because the front of the muzzle pops up a lot, and when you're shooting like 900 rounds a minute, then your guy looks like he's having a spaz attack. So I believe I disabled that in the this weapon I have. So we've got my Argus. No, it's a Dangus. Spitfire. Maybe it was a Spitfire. We'll check. Assault rifle. Hold type are disabled. No, this does need to be in here actually. Disable chambering here. Let's see if it's even mentioned here. 'Cause it might be there and set to false, and I could just set it to true. But yeah, chambering is like you have a clip in the gun, and then you pop one in. So I can't. I'm blanking on the technical terminology, but you can have one like ready to go in the gun, and then have the clip in there too. And in real life, that's considered fairly dangerous because it can just go and kind of go off more easily. But anyway, this is this. That's not. I don't even know if that's possible in that gun because it's just a drum magazine, and maybe it's true. But the way this gun handles chambering, meaning like, okay, you reload your gun. Now you have 30 rounds in the clip. So now you've got a full clip, and if you press reload again, you'll reload again, and you'll have one additional bullet in the clip. So it'll be 30 plus 1 because you got one in the chamber. So for this gun, it's kind of ridiculous because I'm probably going to set it up with the drum. So that's kind of dumb. Like you got 70 rounds. You don't need to reload. Take 6 or 7 seconds to reload the weapon so you can get a bullet, and it's just a 9mm bullet at that. It doesn't even matter. So also here, does this say pistol ammo? Oh, because I changed it on the wrong one. This is my Nambu. Okay, we're just gonna. Okay. What? Oh no, I was right. I thought it said Nambu, but this is Nam like Vietnam. Okay, so it is not a pistol. It's SMG 1, as you can see here. These are the options. So SMG 1, I believe SMG also works. But anyway, so SMG goes there. Got that clip. We disabled chambering. No, did I not paste that? Did not paste that. Chambering? This way? This way? No. Okay. So we've disabled the chambering with disable chambering. So now I would like to set it up so that since this is one of the TFA weapons with attachments, I pretty much just use match because Magnum is like you're just gonna have more recoil and the damage. Like if you go in Sandbox, you can see this when you open up the TFA menu and you can pick your attachments. It's like you've got 2 extra damage and it's less. There's more recoil. It's like what's the point? Like it doesn't affect anything. So the clip size drum, I might have to adjust that depending. But what you can do here is you can automatically select it because you don't want players in. I know this is kind of long-winded, but this is important for TTT because in TFA you can open your menu and you can go into your attachments in TTT and you can pick what you want. But that's bad for TTT because if you're standing still going through your attachment screens, it looks like you're a trader going through the trader menu. So that's really bad. You don't want a lot of players looking at their weapon like, oh, what should I do with this attachment? And you don't want players like switching because there's not like a delay on switching attachments. It's like if you switch scopes and you go from like a aim down sight scope, ADS scope, to like a 4x scope, you can switch that instantly and you can take a shot and switch back and then switch it. And it's like that for someone that's willing to do that kind of hassle. It gives them a really good advantage with weapons. So you just want to say, I'm going to choose for the player what they get. And then also disable the attachments menu in the game, which I'll show you how to do. And then that's how you do that. So we'll go back to my example weapon. Let's see, workshop, creation, my mods. There's one where I did that. Not the UMP, not the Scar, Spitfire. Yeah. I'll have to log into my server. Okay. Go here, and we go to Gmod server, and we go to Garry's mod, add-ons, or no wait, my new server is called server data, Garry's mod, add-ons, almost weapons, Lua, and this is where you can put the Lua for the weapons. You can call this folder anything you want, doesn't matter. Auto runs just for a few things that I have, which I edited the auto run for a weapon, but typically I just enter the Lua. Auto run might be for like sound or like a grenade or something. So we've got the Spectre, and okay, and so you can go down here and you just type in SEL. And I also commented stuff out, like on this gun, like where there were all kinds of sites. Because what happens is when you pick up the gun, the game will lag because it has to load all these sites. So every time someone picks up a gun, the gun's gonna lag because it's one of the guns, the TFA, like insurgency weapons, with all these attachments and stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pick like this one attachment, number 2 here, right? The EO Tech 1. So I disable all the other ones so that they don't actually load by the game. So this is how you pick. Select 1 means if there's only 1 here, it's 1. If there's 2 here, 1 is the first one. If there's 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. You can also do a math.random if you want it to be random every time, which I don't recommend on the insurgency weapons that are typically found in TFA, but there's some other mod makers that make non-insurgency weapons which don't lag the game, where you can let all the attachments load and then you can do math.random, and I can show you how to do that. So we're going to do that here with select 1. And also after you do all this, like, it will not take you this much time every time. This is just because there's all these things to consider. So what did I do? Is there a comma there? I believe there's a comma. Yes. Okay. Comma. So we're going to select match. The sling is awesome. And the drum is awesome. You're going to put that on the gun because it's big fat over tits. So we've got the attachments set up. This weapon, when I have, you can tell if it's gonna lag if you go into sandbox mode with the weapon just straight from the subscribe button on the Gmod Workshop. Choose the weapon on the menu. If it just pulls it out automatically and there's no lag, then you're good. You don't have to like comment any of the attachment stuff out, like the visual elements. This is the first person stuff, and this is the third person stuff. You don't have to do any of that. So we disable chambering, and then there was the one thing I wanted to disable, which I believe was on the Dangus. Do I have that here? The Dingo, which I call the Dangus, which is AR2, hold type AR2. It's got to be something that says like disable burst fire. Chambering is good. Third person reload. I don't know why you would disable. Here we go. Hold type override. Iron sight hold type override. That means when you aim down the iron sights with the really fast weapons, look like a crazy person when you're shooting it. Which you could also see if you want to install a third person mod. The difference. So we've got this iron sight hold type AR2. So that is good. Okay. And the SMG aim, I don't know if that's such a problem. The AR2 though. And what this is saying is there's one that's called like AR2 like aim or something like that. And this is just saying use the regular AR2. So like when you're aiming, don't hold the gun up to your eyeballs. And with the sniper rifle, I wouldn't do that because then people wouldn't know you're sniping. Plus, it's not really a problem. But it just, I don't know. It's the animations in Gmod. So anyway, I like it better. You don't have to use it. So there's that, and then this is, usually I check to see if this is correct. I don't like to take weapons, especially if they're realistic, and make them like gamify them. Like, oh, this weapon's a sniper rifle, but it does 2 damage because now it's balanced. And it's like, well, it's stupid. Like, it should kill people. Like, the weapon should kill. Like, if you want to make weapons less common, don't place them around your map. There's so much. But don't. And then another thing I wanted to mention is for heavy weapons, like LMGs and stuff like that, like light machine guns that are like big weapons with like huge clips and all that. They shouldn't, like in real life, huge weapons don't have recoil, because how are you gonna recoil? You know, like there's nothing. Like you're pushing against a huge object. The bullet is pushing against a huge heavy object, so the gun's not gonna recoil. So that's another thing. Like you can adjust recoil here, like the kick and the clip and all that stuff. And for LMGs, usually what they do to balance them, because they're in real life they're overpowered. So you just make them kick all over the place, but that's fucking ridiculous because they don't do that. So if you want, make the weapon less common, but don't give someone an LNG and then have it suck. That's shit. For usually what I do for damage type is I keep it the same, and you don't have to do this, but you'd probably want to keep it around the same, even if you do want to play with the numbers some, because they're all shooting. Like if I say SMG, that's all 9mm ammo on my server. Or in my head cannon, whatever. It's all the same box, so it should all be SMG 9mm. Though obviously in real life, SMGs have all sorts of. I mean, you can fire 7.62 out of an SMG. I don't know if it's still considered one, but anyway. So primary damage, I usually keep it at 24, meaning you have to shoot, because you have to deal 100 damage to kill someone. It's 5 bullets, unless you're doing like headshots. But 5 body shots and they die. For assault rifles, it's 30, 35 damage around there. So you can kill in like 3 or 4 shots, because the bullets are a lot bigger, and you want to make assault rifles do more damage. Otherwise, the SMGs would just super overpower them because they're high fire rates. At least at short range, and they're still good at short range. So anyway, so all that, just whinging on about all that. So that's pretty much it. You just do the ammo, and usually everything else is good. I mean, you could make it fire underwater if you want. That's a thing that you could do. You can adjust the kick up, kick down, horizontal if you want. The damage spread, the primary spread, I mean, meaning like if you do 0.001, that means like when you're firing at something, it's just like it's gonna be like dead on. Like it'll just hit that one spot forever and never deviate. I guess you'd have to remove the kick up and kick down stuff too, but it'll be very accurate. So if you want to make it less accurate, if you're like, this gun's too accurate, it's too powerful, you can raise that number a little bit, or you can lower it if it's not accurate enough. Like I make a shotgun have this spread of, make it lower so that I could be more accurate over longer ranges. If I wanted, iron sight accuracy means like it's the same as this, but when you aim down sights, there's less spread because you're holding the weapon tighter to your shoulder, you're not moving as fast. That's the idea anyway. It's supposed to simulate that. So selective fire, that means like if you press E and R at the same time, can you switch to burst? Can you switch to single fire? And if you put that to true, then you can do that, but you'd have to configure like burst and single fire, which if you, in the Lua of those weapons, that will already be configured pretty much. So you don't really have to worry about. I'm just saying what they do. Sometimes people get it wrong. So that's for the purpose, I could say this is the ppsh 41 for TTT. And so now I can click that, click save. Then there's this stuff up here. This is not the Nambu. This is the ppsh 41. And for the icon, if I go back here, now this is not covering how to make the actual icons. Like if you Google like how to make weapon icons for TTT, you can see that, and you can make proper ones that show like, is this an innocent weapon, Is this a detective weapon? Because it'll have a blue background. Is this a trader weapon? It'll have a red background. Because that way you know, like, if the detective searches the body, then oh, this is a trader weapon, so I know a trader killed this guy. Because if you've got like 50 weapons on your server, then the detective's like, I don't know, is this a trader weapon? Like maybe, like who knows? So anyway, so if I go into this is in reference to this here is in reference to the materials folder. This is here's reference to the materials folder. So we go BGY. Oh, get out of here. Okay, so HUD, and it's okay. Okay, so we're gonna go to the same guy made this weapon here as the ppsh 41. So this is all like the same directory, but in a lot of other weapons you'd also have to change like that folder because that'd be different. So we're going to change that, and we're going to change that, and we're going to save it, and I believe that's it. Draw the ammo. It is spawnable. Ammo is SMG1. Cool Christmas. And yeah, all that's good. And right quick, before I forget, I'll show you, not that one, the trencher. I'll show you how to do the random stuff. So like this guy, Defy the Rush, Defy's COD guns for TST, has a lot of amazing weapons. They're not very like resource intensive like the insurgency weapons, but they're also really fun, and they look great, and they work great, and they sound great. So his weapons are awesome for converting for TTT. I wish they all were. So anyway, if you go down to the bottom on his weapons, you can do something like this. Like he has a lot of attachments, which unlike the insurgency stuff, you can just have them all load. So there's 6 here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So for the select option, and keeping in mind you need that part as well, that has to be at the end here before the next one starts. But you can do select math random 1 through 6, and that means when you load up a map, then this weapon will have this attachment for the rest of the map. It'll have this bullet mod for the rest of the map. It'll have this gun mod, this handling, and this variant. And these variants, if you ever get one of his weapons, are like maybe it's a faster RPM or whatever. It's like in the game that he ported it from, these were actual like perks you could get or whatever for the weapons, which were pretty cool. So every time you load in a map, you'll get a different variation on the weapon, and you never know what it's going to be, and that's really fun. And sometimes it's a little more powerful, sometimes it's weaker, but it's fun. So that's a fun thing you can do. The only thing is I haven't, with his stuff, I was not able to get the suppressor to work. Like when it would search, it works with the insurgency weapons. Like, there's nothing stopping him from making insurgency weapons. He just doesn't so far. But all the insurgency weapons I've found, the suppressor does work on a math random. But on his, it will switch the model. It'll be suppressed, but the sound will not be suppressed. And I haven't figured that out yet. But anyway, so I just set it to 1-3, and it skips over, so that doesn't get chosen. Anyway, so that's what you can do with that. But this weapon, I didn't do that because it's whatever. Like it just has the drum and like the regular clip, and that's whatever. Anyone who gets the weapon is just going to be happy to have the drum, and the drum's just so much more fun that I'm like, whatever. So that's my thinking there. So you can copy this folder, and you put that in your, this is just to test the weapon out. Gmod, go my Garry's mod folder, paste it in here. And if your Garry's mod's already running, any folders, like the GMAs will load it, even if the game's already open, you just have to reload the map. But for folders, you have to restart the entire game. If you put like a Lua file in or whatever, you always have to restart, or Garry's mod will have no idea that you did, like, that this folder's there. So I'm starting up Garry's mod, and it will know that that is there. It will be an option. Okay, guess I can start it up in my chess. Working on a chess map, or the chess map for CSGO, converting it for TTT. It's pretty cool. I added thunder, lightning, all that stuff. Stuff I didn't know you could do. I have to reload the whole. I have to redo the whole. There's no sounds. You can't have soundscapes because you can't upload TXT files in Gmod. I guess people are abusing it. So, also mine's stuck in. You don't have to do this for weapons, but just to show you the map. I was for debugging. I was in Matte Specular 0, so there weren't any like fancy graphics. So, but yeah, you can. Well, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Oh, wait. Oh, I have to rebuild the cube maps anyway. So anyhow, so we'll go over here and. No, that's not it. Other? What did I do? Oh, here we go. Because I've got like 5 of these freaking things. What do I do with it? Is it not? Huh? Oh, right. Okay. So this is referring to that folder. I have to close this out. This is the actual one in my thing. There's a way to make them work on Garry's mod as well. And pretty sure it should just work in regular Garry's mod sandbox. Oh, I know why. No, do I know why? Have I subscribed to it? Pretty sure. Yeah, I've subscribed. Well, let's unsubscribe. So, contact, whatever. That's just for if you open this file. So, Garry's mod. And I'm going through all this stuff rather than just speeding through like the config, because this is all stuff you're probably going to run into in testing and doing all that stuff, and it's important to see like what's going on. I'll just do this so it can be nice and sunny. But yeah, so you can see all this stuff, see how it all works, see like what it really takes to go through making the weapon, and it's not impossible. And once you do a couple, like if I had to do one on my own, it'd probably take me like 5 minutes to convert one over. If I was rushing, probably 10 if I was taking it nice and slow. Right. No, it's just gone. So other weapons, when that's another creator's weapon. That's another creator's weapon. It's specifically the Vietnam model. Well, I don't know why it's not showing up in Sandbox, because it should. Like if you have, like even if you just delete this code, it would already show up in Sandbox. So why isn't it showing up in Sandbox now? Add-ons. Maybe I'll say for TTT. Sure. And I will resubscribe. Maybe it was just showing up as the. You know what? Maybe it should. Even if you name it the same, there should be 2 of them. I'll try this. If not, then screw it, and I'll just put it on the server and load it up in TTT. So, because we made a change, I just delete this so I don't get confused. Okay. So we're going to go back. We're going to go Garry's mod. And start. Another thing, like if you do these mods, like you don't have to have the owner's permission. You can just put it on your server, unless they specifically say, "I don't want you using this weapon on your server," which would be really stupid. I've seen that before, but it's like, why'd you make this weapon? Like you don't want people to use it. But You can put the Lua files on your server, and you're not doing anything with the. You're not like re-uploading that weapon without their permission. And it's not. It should say TFA Born to Kill Vietnam for TTT. I'm sure because I just woke up and haven't eaten anything or exercised. I'm just missing something. But I have done all the TTT stuff. So I'm gonna go here. This is the thing. I'll copy this to my folder here on this thing here. This is a Linux server I have running this. So I put this here. Freaking boop. Okay. I'm trying to think, like, is this gonna make sense? This is so freaking so complicated. So this is the ppsh that I'm adding. You have to add it to your collection, or to a collection that your server is using, and then you also have to add it to actually I can just do this through here. This is my I guess I could leave that open. But so now we've got Lua server auto run server resource. Now I can go to, these are all the stuff I use, and I'm like, okay, resource.add workshop. This means when players connect to your map, they're not downloading it from your computer, from the server, they're downloading it from the actual Steam Workshop, which is a lot faster and doesn't take up your bandwidth. So you just need the number here. And yeah, so where was I? What am I doing? Notepad file, right? Paste here. TFA ppsh 41. And we'll file save that. And that. Okay. And then we've got this, name of it. TFA, maybe I'll type this here. Yeah, I'll just type TFA NAM ppsh 41. You know, that doesn't need to be in the code. Go into my entity replacer, because I have places, like right now it will auto spawn around the map, but I want to show it off. Oh, whoops, wrong thing. And I don't want it to take, I don't want to be running around like reloading the map, looking around for the weapon, like where is it? I want to show it to people, like show that it's working. And so I have this is a mod you can download upon your server, which will allow you to manually place stuff around the map. And like, so if I place down a Glock, like this has a 1 in 3, like the total number of weapons here is their chance to spawn, and so it's weighted. Like these two here are less chance to spawn than those three. So if you place down a Glock on the map, then these will spawn. So that's how I run my server. So what do we want? Submachine guns. So I'm going to take these out for the rotation. Here. Here. And yeah, I'm aware I'm kind of covering like a lot of topics in one video, but you know, they all kind of mesh together, and I'm tired. So maybe I'll probably redo the video again a little bit later, and it'll be better the more I redo it. So anyway, so I click save on that. So now the only weapon that's going to appear in every submachine spot on the server is going to be that weapon. So I should find it quickly. So this is my server starting up. Okay. This is a command you can run right here to, like pointing at it in real life, you can't see, to run a map. This is with 12 players. Though I might up that later, but so anyway, and this is my local IP because my server is local. So I can do that. Otherwise, it would have to be your public IP. So that's going to start up. And we're going to see it here. Download the new stuff. Oh, somebody updated the flashbang. Okay, so there's the ppsh that is being downloaded and added to the server. And now when that is ready, yep. So anytime now. The Davy Crockett stuff's from the Harpoon, if you ever see that. So there it is. Yeah, that's the entity replacer, swapping out all that stuff. Put my weapons on the map. The server. Oh, Gmod updated. Fantastic. Yeah, the joys of Gmod. Okay, so I have to go like this and say, I believe. And is it going to, yeah, server data. Okay. Up. Okay. Alright, so I guess if you've made it this far and you're not like poking your eyeballs out with the razor blades or something, then you can skip ahead to when this is done. Because it could be a little while. I don't know. I don't know what you're doing, Gmod. Probably breaking everything again. Trying to derive weapon. TTT. All this stuff. Still going. Okay. Guess I could show you what I was doing with chess. Or in hammer, I guess. Let me show that up. What do we got going on here? So, in hammer, I was like, I had to port over chess from CSGO, so that's like, it's not so bad. But there's like a lot of stuff, not a lot, some stuff was just broken. So like there used to be a teleporter down there, it's gone. The rain effects were CSGO rain effects. I had to redo those by putting on like overlapping rain effects because they're so crappy from the Gmod. For the tunnels, like, and the original author of the map had soundscapes, meaning like depending where you are on the map, you'd have different ambient sounds from the level, like rain or the tunnels or something like that. So I had to redo that with individual, instead of just like one thing that says if you're in this general area, play this sound. I did like a bunch of individual rain sounds. So when you're running through the map, it changes. So there's like rain drip sounds on timers and stuff like that. It's more precise, like it's more accurate than a soundscape, but God, it takes a while. Here's the thunder sounds, which have a very neatly organized and some logic cases on a timer. They like choose like when the lightning's gonna go off, when the thunder's gonna go off, like because the lightning will go off and then the thunder will be on a slight delay. It could be, a certain amount of time, and then the timer here is also like 8 to 50 seconds on that, and then there's a light up here for like the actual lightning, it flashes in the level, and that's set to not as a normal light. It's set to. Okay, you probably don't care. That's still going. Okay, you care. So this is going fluorescent flicker rather than regular. So now in the map, see the shiny stuff. So yeah, this is Gmod, everybody. It's amazing. Just thinking like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit down and like do this thing. It's gonna take 5 minutes. Like 2 hours later, you're like, oh my god, like what have I done with my life? Like this is what am I like? This is oh my god. And it's just that's every time because there's so many things. The weapon adding stuff to weapons server, I have that down pretty good. But level creation's a whole other thing. That's crazy. Alright, so now I turn on actual graphics. Because I think you have to run build cube maps in Mat Specular 0 first. So that's why I do that. Or maybe not first, just at all. To get that's what it says on the official wiki. Anyway, so you have nice level reflections here. So you should see the level lighting up any second now with a flash. Flashy times? It's a 8 to 50 second timer, so it could be a minute or whatever. You know what I mean. Shut up. See there. I wish I had the volume so low. My other headphones, for whatever reason, have like massive freaking volume. Okay, alright, it's cool, that's done. So now we'll just start the server, and bam. So, this, oh, there's the thunder. So this is what it should be like. Yeah. And that's fun. Okay. So this has chambering on. So now see it's... Man, that's weird that they have 71 rounds in a clip. I'm pretty sure it doesn't... I'm pretty sure in real life it's not 71. Well, whatever. I could change that if I want a nice round. See, chambering adds, if you hold R, you can see it adds the extra one, which is pretty silly. Okay, so now we're connecting to the server. Now I think I will have to download it from the server. You see, oh, okay. My map differs from the server because it does. That is correct. Never been a problem before. But again, Gmod, everyone. So we got a Gmod. My maps folder. Well, because I also like. I think it was because I was working on it yesterday. So yeah. If you have the map like in here, like manually, like the BSP, I'm pretty sure it overrides whatever GMA you get from any server ever. So you will actually have a different map. And I did make changes to it. So see if this works. I think I have to close Gmod because it won't recognize that it's gone. Maybe it will. Because it doesn't exist anymore. It can't be different. Unless it's stored in the RAM. Which I don't see why it would be. Okay. So here we go. It's time for bubbles. Okay, no bubbles. Okay, so there it is. see if I totally screwed this up. It doesn't look like I did screw it up. It's good. Now see, when I look at the menu here, there are no attachments here. So in the TFA config, I went in and actually, on the server, I said, don't give people that option. Like, you can do a quick tab and be like, alright, 24 damage, it's a machine gun. But you're not going to be sitting here as the terrorist, like, stopping and, like, I mean, as an innocent or as a detective or other rule, like, you know, fiddling around with your attachments, looking like a traitor, and now you're just screwing up the whole gameplay because, you know, everyone's like, oh, you're a traitor, and it's like, you're not. I don't know what's going on with the hand. Could be my player model. So, boop, this guy, I think he's got hands. Minor gripe. Anyway, that works, I believe. There's another one. Ammo works good. If I just pick up the gun, it just has 30 rounds, as you can see in the lower right. And the only thing I actually had to add to my server was the Lua file. And if you're running it just from Garry's mod, like, and you don't have like a dedicated server, you would just add it to like, you'd go into Garry's mod, add-ons, and you'd have like your the same kind of folder structure. So you'd have as the weapon. So where's my add-ons here? So like the Lua. So like basically you could just delete all this. Get rid of all that. You don't need it. Get rid of all that. You don't need it. You didn't. Anything you edited is the stuff you want to keep. So like that's what you'd keep. So if you had it on your server, you'd want to subscribe to it. I don't know how to run a local server like on Garry's mod, but anyway, it's the same folder structure like as here. Like the actually, would you have to do it? I don't know. I think that's how you would do it, but like here, as I said before, as I showed you before, it's in like the add-ons, whatever you want to call this folder name doesn't matter. Lua, I don't know why that folder name has to exist. It's been so long. Well, you have to have an intermediary folder between add-ons and Lua. Maybe you don't. Maybe I'm just wrong. You don't need it. You can just stick stuff in a Lua folder and add-ons, because that's how the weapons work. But I don't know. That's how I got it to work. So, and then I put the I put it in here, and it should be alphabetical. So that's the whole thing. The entity replacer, like I was saying, like there's a weapon placer too, which is what I use to place stuff around the map, which is a TTT weapon placer. So this thing you can download and stick in your add-ons folder. It's like I have it in mine, I believe. And so it's just this Lua file that you'll get when you download it. And I've edited some stuff on mine, so like if I want to manually place these, they do show up. I don't really manually place weapons anymore because I like some randomness. But I just do the where's that? Random weapons. Yeah, oh, they're up here. Yeah, so like these are the ones I use. Like if I have this for random, and this is working in conjunction with that entity replacer. So there's weapon replacer and there's entity replacer. And there's two ones where you don't subscribe, you download them, and you add them to your server. Or you add the entity replacer to your server, and you add the weapon placer to your local like Gmod add-ons installation, which was like the Gmod here. You add it here. So TTT weapon placer. So you add it, and that's when you run that in Sandbox. So like I go in Sandbox, and this. You can go to anything. I made one for CS:GO because this is an actual TTT map, so there's no spawns, right? So you're like, how can I play this map? I want to play it on TTT on my server, but it's on the workshop, but it's not configured for TTT. So then you're like, okay, well, oh, what shit? Connection to server? What? It's local, right? Close turn off my server. Yeah, I'm just running sandbox, aren't I? It's a big map. So anyway, here's the CS:GO. It's been updated in CS:GO. They should probably just report it over or whatever. It's a pain in the ass to port maps, kind of. So, I mean, the general porting of maps isn't hard, but the lighting is truly. So, what was I gonna say? My weapon. Oh, it's over here on the lower right here. Weapon placer. So if I go here and I can say remove all existing weapons and ammo, boop, and then I can go like, alright, I'm gonna place down this weapon, and this is probably just gonna error message. Nope. Oh, it does work. Okay. So then that would appear in the map when I export this file. Can I pick that up? Yes, I can. Dingo time. Yeah. So, but normally what I do is, since I have the entity replacer, which goes through and says, okay, if he places this on the map, then there's a chance of, you know, this submachine gun, or this submachine gun, or this submachine gun. And the reason I do that is because with this thing, the way I have it set up, I can go in and say, where's my SMG? Okay. So I place my, damn it, get out this thing. Okay. So I place this down. Right, that's the default TTT backed in. Right, but if you right-click, there's SMG ammo. Right, so I can place a bunch of SMG ammo around or whatever. So that way, in my weapon pool, any item that spawns that's an SMG is going to have SMG ammo right near it. And same for like the assault rifle. Here's like this M16, and this is the that's the assault rifle ammo that comes with that Black Ops weapon box I was saying. So there's all that good stuff. And then when you're done, you're like, okay, I'm good. Oh, for spawns, you can do that too. You can say like weapon spawn. Weapon spawn. Then you can do weapon spawns with this thing. Not weapons, person spawns. Random player spawns like that. Boop. And you have to rotate this by using the gravity gun, which I stripped all the stuff on the map, so I have to kill myself. Yeah, but you actually have to go like this. You're like, I want a player to spawn this way, and if you're too indelicate with it, it'll fall over. And yeah, you have to press Z to. Anyway, so you do that. Boop, boop, boop. And you place those all around the map. And then when you're done with all the weapons and all that crap, you say export to file, and you get this over here. So I'm moving the mouse. There's some words that came up that says where that file is in the Garry's Mod Data TTT maps, and then so you put that file, that TXT file, on your server in the maps folder, just straight in the maps folder. And then whenever you run that map, it'll load up all your stuff. So you don't have like any default TTT weapons on the map or anything like that. You just have all your custom stuff, and that's it. No garbo. And I guess, you know what? Let me take you through what I've done on my server. This is the end of the tutorial, but this is just for fun for me because I've converted a lot of stuff, and I'll show you just for funsies all the cool stuff you can have on your stuff and stuff. Yeah. Okay, so data. I need to go to my data folder, and I need to go back to my weapon replacer. And back here, because I took all those SMG stuff out before, and I put it back in. SMG. Right. So I like them all equally. So if I wanted it to be like so each one has an equal chance of spawning. So it's like 1 in 4, because there's 4, and each one has a chance of 1 in 4. But if I wanted it to be like this has a lot more chance of spawning than the other ones, right? Then I could do that. And so like I've done that for weapons like the tri-gun here shoots 3. It has 3 barrels on the gun, and they all shoot these powerful shot. They're like 45 damage bullets in one shot, and it's accurate. So I'm like, that should just be for fun, show up once in a while. It might show up too much still. Anyway, so so that's back on the, okay. And every time you do that, you have to restart the server to get that stuff to load. So I can do like this. Actually, I guess I could do CSGO. TTT, or is it GM? GM CSGO agency. Boop. You know what? Screw that. We'll do bubblegum. So I'll show you my some of the trader shops I did. Okay, it's loading up. Boop. Boop boop. Man, I'm not doing nothing nowadays. It's like I want to work, but I can't go out because I'm staying with my grandparents, and so I start my new job, and I don't want to get them killed. So it's like I can't do anything. I can't go out. Like I'm 36, staying with my grandparents. I can't go outside. It sucks. What is up with this player model? What the frick? Of course, when you want to show something to somebody, inevitably just everything fucking breaks. Alright. I mean, I also haven't used those models in forever. Sometimes people update stuff and then you're like, oh, this is... Or it could be like this axe, like the bones on it were moved and now where the player's grip is. So that's one. Snipe air, 100 damage. Is rare to show up, so... It's pretty neat that we could see it. This, I put on the map. It's not TFA, but it changed your gravity. So if you jump, and then if you drop it, you just fall like normal. Okay, and then... Oh, right. Got a long charge up time, but it is a one-shot kill. And then there's the... those things were for terrorists. I put those there because only terrorists can pick them up, give you more credits, and so there's that. Scar, pretty tits, and oh crap, I forgot to show people how to do like the disabling of shit. Well, I guess if you want to know that, you can just send me a message. Like, because if you press L, you have the attachments disabled. I'll put it in the description. Fuck it. Okay. This one's supposed to actually have damage numbers on the or like ammo. Like, see this one here. Oh, it's the P320. It's like army issue pistol. Man, I love this. Love that gun. This is from the new Half-Life. So good. HPR. Then Wingman. And then Smoke Grenade, I doubled the size of it because I was like, they just suck in TTT. They just fucking suck. And now they don't. So now it's like, oh, I can actually block line of sight to like some shit. Maybe like run away from a sniper or something. So Oh, the trencher is I love this one too. I love all of these, obviously. Oh, I made these barrels too. They well, I didn't make the model, but I did all the putting them in the level, animating, all that shit. The explosions I used someone else's explosion, but better than the default. What's that? It's a little shark. Shit. Okay. I like the variable time so you don't know if it's gonna explode right away or not. Freaking smoke. It's all smoke today. Oh, here's a grenade. They've got an equal chance to spawn, I think. So. Oops. I wanted to get that. HK. Right, you already saw that. Oh, this one's pretty neat. Stun grenade. Boop. Whoops. A little bit of lag. Oh my god. I love that effect. I haven't figured out how to, like, it usually lags for like 0.2 of a second or something. And, all the TFA stuff does that. I also added a V-Fire, which is like dynamic fire. So like, you can't really tell that's dynamic because it's pretty much a flat surface, but like the barrels, like when they explode, they launch debris across the map. If I use like a slam, huh. Okay, well that didn't. Of course, I want to show somebody. What the hell? God damn it! Every other time there's like fire all over the place. Not this time. I suppose it's a random chance. Or it could be the add-ons I have installed. They're client side. That's probably it. Like if I went into the server with all my add-ons disabled, then that would yeah. So I don't know. But like the dynamic fire is like if you put it, if the grenade exploded like on the ledge, like the fire would go down here and spread around, or if it got on the ceiling, it would just sit on the ceiling. This might show it better. Well, maybe not. And then so over here. Okay. So there's like a two-part shader thing. Boop. That confirms I'm actually a trader, and then allows the radio to be used. And I can do credits. Yeah. So then this guy portals in and shoots at me. Yep. I love this thing. I also got him to drop bombs too. Oh, there he goes. Yep. Well, that's it. That's the video for today. Hope it was semi-coherent. And oh yeah, see, there's some fire. It's warm on my balls. Yeah. I think there's something over here that'll kill me instantly. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Yep. There's Nigel. Alright, I'll see you later.